Now that we have our devices set up, let's go ahead and set up the camera to work within our teaching space. In this classroom example, the teaching space is here at the very front of the classroom, centered on the active board, and we're going to use Zoom as a way to do that. And so I'm just going to come up here on the top right. I have our settings, and we see that we have the options for video and audio. When I select video, you have an option to choose either the actual camera on the laptop or our new Jabra Panicast. So we're going to make sure that that's selected, and notice right now it's not showing where I want it to be, so I'm going to have to come back over to the desk and position this so that it shows my teaching space. Now notice it's going to allow us to see this entire area. We see that due to the 180 degree, it's going to show a large section of the classroom, so I may want to push that back just a little bit. And this will allow me the remote learners to see everything that's happening at the front of the room. All right, let's go ahead and look at setting up the audio. So we're going to grab our Bluetooth speaker microphone, and we're going to go to the audio settings of whatever video application we're using. And we see that we have a couple options with respect to the speaker. We're going to leave it on active panel. This is going to allow the students in the classroom to be able to hear the students that are remote learners, and that's going to be a good setup for maybe our classroom discussions or something along that lines. And so we're going to choose active panel. And then under microphone, it's important that we have our correct device, and we're going to use, it's called headset, and it says speaker or Speak 510 USB. And so we're going to have that selected as well. And you can see the input level shows that it's picking up my voice, which means I'm going to need to carry this around with me so my remote learners can hear what's going on in the classroom. So as I might move around the classroom, in case I move out of this area, the remote learners can still hear my voice. All right, so let's go ahead and jump out of these settings and go ahead and start a call here. And we're going to see that as it connects, we have the opportunity down here to not only mute myself, and so now the remote learners are not going to be able to hear me. I can go ahead and turn that back on. I can also stop and start my video. And now my remote learners can no longer see me or what's going on in the classroom. And more importantly, we have the opportunity by hitting this little up arrow right here to change our speaker and our microphone. So in this case, if I wanted to change the speaker from the active panel to my Bluetooth speaker microphone, I would choose headset. And now the audio coming from the remote learners will actually come through this device instead of the active panel, which we might want to use on a one-on-one discussion with a student, or maybe if we're in some sort of small group and I don't want my classroom to hear everything coming through the active panel here. So we have some additional controls on the speaker microphone itself. First of all, we have a mute button here. If we're using it as a microphone, we can mute that, and we see that some LED indicators show up here, and this would allow for the remote learners not to be able to hear what you're saying. We select that again, and my microphone's turned back on. And if we're using it as a speaker as well, we have the plus and minus to be able to increase and decrease the volume. And so the LED indicators show how loud you have that device as well.